Hi. Okay, so here we are with PowToon. PowToon is a great web tool. It is something that you can use for formative assessment without having to give yet another quiz. After a while, you and your students all get tired of taking quizzes. So this is a good way to test for understanding and give them an opportunity to utilize their critical thinking skills, use their creativity, and show you what they know. And to top it all off, it's really fun, not only for them, but also for you. Think about how much fun it is to grade comics and cartoons versus quizzes. So this is something that all of you can enjoy. And again, this can be used for online classes. This can be used for blended classrooms, whatever. So any kind of classroom that utilizes technology can use PowToon. And PowToon is awesome. As they say, it brings awesomeness to your presentations. So, okay. PowToons, again, when you first get in, you have to register for the website. Just like you do just about everything. Typical registration, name, password, username, email, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I've already done that. I'm in. So once you get in, you will get to this page here. And you can decide to make either a slideshow or a movie. You just move this little thing here. Slideshow, movie. Okay, let's make a movie. So, you can choose any topic. I mean, you could be, I've got 4 kids. My oldest son is in 4th grade. And they're learning about long division. Well, long division, they're tested on it, they're quizzed on it, they have assignment after assignment after assignment. And really, that's the best thing to do with long division is just practice, practice, practice. But after a while, it might be fun to do something else with it. So let's say you give them the opportunity to come up with a PowToon comic about long division. Okay, now that's kind of a complex assignment. It's maybe something that you would want to send home with them and have them work with their parents or with their family or some family member. I know my children, their school occasionally sends home assignments where they're required to work with a family member. So it's a little bit higher order learning, which is a good thing. And we work together to come up with these projects or whatever. So this is one of those that if you feel like you have enough parental involvement, or whomever, you could utilize. And this would be a good one for your younger students. For your older students, they can do it in class. They can do it on their own, however you want to work it. Students can also work in groups or by themselves. There are so many options. Okay, so let's say we're going to make a movie. And so what we're going to do is we'll do the movie and then we go to create. So create a new PowToon. We can either customize a ready-made PowToon or we can start from scratch. So let's start from scratch just because I'll be able to show you a few extra things. So we'll start from scratch. And so we'll let it load up here. And it'll load up the templates. And you can use any of these templates. If you change your mind and you want to use a ready-made PowToon, you can still go to there. But we're going to stick with this. And you can business, marketing, sales, training, education, personal, social, fun, events, greeting cards. You can click on those and it will filter through some of your themes and templates. My oldest son, is a huge superhero fan, so let's go with those. So I'm going to click on go, and it'll bring up the superhero theme and template. So it'll go. It might take us a couple of minutes a couple of seconds, because it is images and animations and whatnot. But it doesn't take long, as you will see here. So you can do anything with PowToon. I mean, you can do any topic whatsoever. If you're a content teacher, you can utilize anything within your content. You can make this a cumulative assessment and have them make a comic about your unit. You can make it just a lesson. And I would probably recommend a lesson versus a unit and use it more as a formative assessment versus a summative assessment, strictly because it does take a long time to create these. And the more information that you put into it, the longer it's going to take. Okay, so you get this. I have 2 days of trying out premium, so it gives me that little notification. Now I'm going to close that out. And now I've got my tools, the tools that I can use. So I'm given this template. It's pretty empty. And so, excuse me, I will get my superheroes. I can look at any of my superheroes. Let's say I click on this guy, and I can decide if he's saying hello, if he's just happy, or if he's thinking, angry, sad, typing, explaining, or doing some sort of superpower. So let's say he's going to explain something. So let's put him in explain mode. So now he's explaining. Okay, so it looks like I've got 2 of these guys on here. I don't want 2. So I just want 1. So I'm gonna move my explainer. So I just click on it. I just click and drag, move him. If I want to get rid of the other guy, I just click on him, and I can delete him. I'm just gonna hit the backspace button, and he will eventually disappear. There he goes. Okay, so I've got my superhero explaining something. Now, what this is down here is these are 10-second cartoons. So within the 10 seconds, I want him to come in and be a part of it at some point. So I'm going to click on him, and I'm going to move down here a little bit. There we go. Okay, so this arrow says it, denotes when he comes into the cartoon. So I'm gonna click on the arrow, and then I want him to either drop down or scoop up or come in from the left or the right, fade in, pop in. Let's have him, let's have him pop in, and we'll have him pop in at half a second. Okay. And then we'll have him, I'll move him down. Here you go. I guess I have him in here 1.5 seconds. There we go. There we go. So he's going to pop in half a second. Okay. And I got to find him. We're going to right in when he leaves too. There he is. So now I'm going to click on him again. And I'm going to type in that he leaves at the very end. And I'll have him fly away, go up. Okay. So I can click here, hit more. Gives me more people. So if I want to add more people to my cartoon at some point, come in and maybe ask a question or say something. Let's say, let's get this guy in. So he'll come in, and I'll move him over. And let's have him come in at 4 seconds. So I'm going to get him in at 4 seconds. Okay. And I'd like him to talk to the other superhero. So I'm going to turn him around. There he is. So I'm going to hit that flip button. Okay. And this tennis ball here is animation settings. So if I have him doing something, I can have him, if I have him waving, I can have him do it for however long, play in a loop, constantly wave, whatever. Or no animation whatsoever. Right now he's playing in a loop. So we'll have him come in, say hello 1 time. Oop, I gotta flip him back again. Okay, so now he'll say hello and stop. Okay, And then we'll have him leave at, let's have him leave at 8 seconds. And he will do so. Okay. So he's going to leave at 8 seconds, and we are going to have him, let's have him leave left. Okay. So those are some of the things that they can do. You can write in text if you want. You can put any kind of text in here. So, but, we can change our background. We can look at our background. We can do those. We can do these abstract ones. We can look at whatever else. See what they have. We can upload backgrounds if we've got some. All kinds of different options. We can put an image in. If there's an image that we want them to discuss, we can pop an image in there somewhere. And so let me get rid of that. There it goes. I just clicked on it and hit backspace to get rid of it. I can put shapes in. There's all kinds of different things I can do. So let's say I want to put an arrow in there. Okay, so I've got an arrow pointing at the waving superhero. And I can click on sound. Okay, I can record. I can do a voiceover. I can do a soundtrack. I can download a professional voiceover. If I'm doing a slideshow, I can have voiceover per slide, or I can just have a voiceover track where rather than having my superheroes talk, I can talk for them. Or there's so many different things I can do. So I can go to the library, see what other stuff I have. I can look at different technologies. Let's pop that in. So now they've got a technology. We don't need technology, so we'll get rid of it. Okay. Just different things you can do. So you can click on the canvas. Okay. You do old TV canvas effect. There it goes. There's that. Or I can decide I don't want to do that. I can do a vignette. See what kind of effect that is. It doesn't have much of effect at all. So we'll get rid of that. Anyway, I can clone objects to a new slide, but I'm not doing a slide, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, so these are the different options. Once you're done, then you just take your little red slider here, slide it to the beginning, and you hit play. And there's your superhero. He pops in. There's your other guy, comes flying in. And now our second guy, there's the arrow, and they didn't leave. I did that wrong, apparently. So I'm going to correct that. I'm going to say, okay, I want him to leave at 8 seconds. And I want him to leave up. And then I want this guy to leave at, say, 9 seconds. And I want him, let's have him fly away too. They are superheroes after all. Okay, so now I have edited my video. And I start over and I hit play. And all the different things that I've put together start to happen. And as it goes through, one guy flies away. And he should have flown away, but he didn't. But you get the point. So you can kind of keep playing with it. And there's so many different things they can do. I mean, I'm trying to do it in a few minutes. This is something that they would work on all hour. Each second they could do something different. They just move their slider. Starting here, they move their slider. What do they want to have there within the first second? After the first second, what do they want to do? Then after this, and then you just keep moving the slider and adding and subtracting elements. And then once they've got all the elements in there, they can start adding their sound. They can do their voiceovers, they can do soundtracks, they can do whatever they want to do. And then once they're fully completed and edited and they've gone back and made any changes they want to make, they can play it. And all of a sudden now they have a 10-second cartoon. And you'd be amazed what kind of information you can put into a 10-second video cartoon. Or you can have, like I said earlier, you can have them do a slideshow, and they can add as many slides as they want and have an animated slide, or it doesn't even necessarily have to be animated. So that's PowToon. So you can see the unlimited options, the unlimited uses that you can use for PowToon. This is a wonderful tool and something that your kids would absolutely love to do. And the older they are, the more intellectual they are, the more creative that they are, the more they're able to come up with. And it's great to see the kind of creativity that they can come up with on their own. So if you just kind of let them go on their own, give them basic general instructions and let them loose, let them go, let them see what they can do, help them, give them a little bit of the basics like I just gave to you, let them see what they can do, maybe have an example so they have something in their head that they can work from, and then let them go and let them use their creativity and let them do what they want. And you'd be amazed at some of the wonderful products that your students will come up with. And think about the pride that they would have in those kinds of projects. And how much fun would that be? So I hope this is useful. I hope you were able to garner some information from that. And again, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be happy to answer them for you.